Greetings, Father. I was not expecting your arrival. You must forgive us that the house was unprepared for guests. To what do we owe the pleasure of your company? Father, that was a war you started and you know it. We took no joy in what we had to do. But how can this be? I thought that you were gone. Goodbye, daughter. Nix, Nix, Nix! Answer me! Blast. No. What do you intend to do? And what have you done to the others? To my family? Olympus shall have your head. You can take mine for all I care, blast you. But don't you dare harm anybody in my house. The Fates. How should I know? Not even Nyx herself knows where her daughters are. Why are you asking me? The master of this beast. Well, if I'm to be remembered, I could think of far worse ways than that. Though this beast has yet to so much as snarl at you. My daughter, Melanui. Merciful Fates. You cannot be here. He shall find you. He'll find you and... He's in my blasted house. Where you were meant to be, and I. Look at me, daughter. I cannot confront him on my own. What do you expect shall happen? No! No, that would bring greater ruin, nothing more. Now get out of this place. Then let me lend to you what strength I still possess. Don't be a fool. What are you doing here again? I told you, you cannot be here. I vanquished him with the aid of 5 other gods. What hope have you alone? He has no weakness, save his arrogance. And it appears you have that weakness too. You think I have any sense of time in such a place? And I've said already what you can do. Risk not your everything. Go now, and be unseen. I know not how you withstood the Titan if truly you confronted him. Quickly now, tell me about this. Have you been... Are you well? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Get back to me if you must. I'd grant your vengeance if I could. But this is all that I can do for now. Cease with this foolishness, daughter. There is no stopping him. He is inevitability itself. You risk too much by visiting me here. My son would never listen to me. I was a fool to think it a distinctive trait. I've little strength of late. But you shall have it nonetheless. Thank you for looking after Cerberus. Though look after yourself. You are as willful as your brother, aren't you? Lash out if you must. You need not fail as I. Leave me be. Leave me, I said. Blood and darkness. He is no mere Titan. He is time itself. And time cannot be stopped. You have your orders. Now return to Shadow. And take care of her. For all of us. Another tormentor come to break me, or to try. And such a frail one at that. Has the Titan Lord a lack for decent help? Such a cacophony occurred after you last visited. Exactly when I cannot say. All of the Titan's wretched servants flew into a panic. Their cries would not cease. What transpired? Blood and darkness. Then you accomplished that which once took half the blasted strength of Olympus. All on your own. He shall seek vengeance with a renewed zeal. This entire plot of his is driven by the same impulse. Then kill him if you must. At least, his many deaths ought to keep him occupied. Oh, they have sense enough to keep their distance from me. Or perhaps Cerberus. Well, if seeing me in this pitiable state should spur you to your fullest wrath, then so be it. No. The only pain is that your mother and I, your brother, this dog, that we could not be there to see you grow. Each time I see you now, it fills an absence that was there. Go. I have no more strength for now. Go. not for me. There. Now get out of here. Now leave me be. It is done. Now go. Fine. There. Fine. But you cannot stay. All right, very well. Now off with you, indeed. May it be of use. That I can spare. Granted, granted. That is all. Granted. Go on then. There. Now go. Go. Who goes? You. It's you. Daughter. Daughter. Melinoe. Melinoe? Is that you? Back again. Why? Greetings. Cerberus, look who it is. Curse you. Curse you, father. Blast you, father. You stay away from her. Wretched Titan. Wretched excuse for father. There is no escape. Get from my house. Death is your only family. For what you did to me. Whenever you return, so does a portion of my strength. Take no unnecessary risks and go unseen, daughter. You have vanquished the Titan before. You know full well what it takes. I am of little use like this. You need not stray from your path on my account. Hold nothing back against the Titan. That you are family matters not to him. Be on your way, daughter. I require no assistance here. The Witch of the Crossroads swore no harm would come to you. Ensure she keeps her word. How strange to have a moment's peace with you and Cerberus in such an age. We have anticipated your arrival, ever since the dog bounded in here. Go take your vengeance. Our family, we've more than enough to spare. Daughter, tell me what became of the Witch of the Crossroads, should you know. When all seemed lost, your mother and I, we left you in her care. Good. She was, well, as you say, we'd best say nothing more. Though if you have the opportunity, extend to her my deepest gratitude. What has that blasted Titan done to Cerberus, that he should storm into this place with such abandon only to be ushered out again? Takes a small army of satyrs to drive him back, so you must face him in that sorry state. Thank you, daughter, for taking pity on the moody beast. He has seen better, but been through worse. You were too young to form a bond before, but perhaps it is not too late. Exactly like your brother, Blast. I fear I'm not in any mood or state for such a thing. Concern yourself not with my comfort, but with the target of your wrath. These shackles sap me of my force of will, but not entirely. This is not how I imagined my daughter would spend the evenings of her youth, the scent of blood. You're injured, and you expect to face the Titan still. At least you're in the right place should you die. Even now the boatman plies his trade. Absurd. Our entire operation was shut down. Although, I ought to remember that he serves this realm, not me. You have the Death Defiance. Runs in the family. Your brother Zagreus, he was also rather sturdy for his stature. Hard-headed as a boy. How can you be so certain? To make such guarantees of the unknown. The Titan. My father. He shall not stop. He is the most hard-headed of us all. If you'd indulge a senseless curiosity, how fares my house? Your brother, he was more or less in charge of the decor. I highly doubt the Titan shares his taste. Oh, you have your mother's candor to a fault. You ought to have told me everything was fine. The comfort of lies at times is all we have. Your mother was so proud when you were born. We did not always think that we would have another child, but we decided to try again. The painting, it survived. The witch, she must have taken it. And such a risk for such a thing. Know that your mother's radiance cannot be captured, no matter the artist's skill. This chamber, it once held a prisoner of mine, a mortal king who had attempted to cheat death. I forced the wretch to heave that boulder up that path forever. He He forgave me anyway. You misunderstand. The prisoner, he was called Sisyphus the King. His boulder there was like a friend. He asked his friend to keep me company. Until more company arrived, he said. Oh, most of them are not. Some chose to join the Titan's legions and remain here in Tartarus. Not anywhere I cast my gaze, of course. He runs amok at my behest, spreads the attention of the Titan's legions thin. Eventually they drive him back, but can do him no harm. I'd have less difficult a time than a mere shade. Besides, these shackles cannot be unlocked, save by the Titan's command. But I'd remain here for eternity before I'd grovel at his feet. I'll take you at your word. The boulder and I were not as close as was its last relationship, though perhaps you shall coax something from it. The witch apparently has taught you everything. Greetings. We tried that once. Death. Oh, daughter. Not here it won't. Here, as you say. Hail. To Shadow you'll return. That won't earn his affection. Leave him be. Stay, Cerberus. He wishes to be left alone. A temperamental beast. He does not wish to play. Not for the first, truly. Then he must know the meaninglessness of the act. Look at me, daughter. I could do nothing against him on my own, even though I too have fought him before, slain him before. Blood and darkness. To have achieved such an outcome, which once required half the blasted strength of all Olympus, on your own. I cannot believe that I am asking, but how fares Olympus in all this? Even trapped within this chamber, it is evident to me that the Titan's legions are at war. Not a pretty sight up there. You mean to say you've seen all this firsthand? How? Impossible. Yet seemingly all these impossibilities continue to occur. So you must vanquish the Titan, as well as come to the rescue of Olympus. How utterly absurd that you are burdened with all that. Cerberus. Look who it is. She's back already, Cerberus. Why pick the refuse from this place? There's nothing here of use. I thought that one would never leave. A shade that has a spine. Leave it be. The boulder has seen punishment enough. Cease this, daughter. Vent your frustrations elsewhere. Daughter, tell me something of yourself, for I know not a thing. For instance, what is it that you like to do when you are not attempting this? Neither the time nor place for trivialities. Perhaps, however, at some point, we may discuss such matters more, but there are scores to settle first. My knowledge of this is not up to date. He made everybody stop somehow. I saw them, still as stone, not petrified exactly, but ensnared, in the great hall of the house. He must have stored them someplace else inside. Perhaps if you ask the Titan very nicely, he shall comply. Daughter, I know of no way to undo his work, and have no wisdom to impart. But this I can provide. My brothers each are aiding you, are they? Zeus doubtless leading from behind the safety of his palace walls, Poseidon blustering as though his victory is already at hand. They sat oblivious upon the surface realm for far too long. But do not listen to my rantings about them. Had you known your own brother, perhaps you'd better understand the impulse for such ill-conceived remarks. Nyx herself, even she was powerless against the Titan. 2 of Night Incarnate's own sons served in my house along with her. I suppose he has them too. Hypnosis sleep again, and I've no recollection of that other name. But time has worn on me. Regardless, if the witch yet leads the unseen, the will of night is not yet lost. The darkness stirs in such a way as I've not felt since very long ago. This cannot be the Titan's work. It must be that of the Witch of the Crossroads, if not you. I know less of the unseen than you suppose, as it should be, lest the Titan could have learned much more. Then may you serve the will of night judiciously. What am I waiting for? Daughter, answer me something. How is it that the Titan's armies are well organized enough to siege Olympus, when the Titan himself cowers here in Tartarus? Is vengeance on the gods an insufficient desire in itself? I wanted nothing to do with his sentencing, but your Lord Uncle Zeus, he would always claim that he could fashion more creative punishments than I. To think that you have seen Olympus with your own eyes. Your brother never had that opportunity, and I myself. My life is here, and I've no memories of mountain tops. I told them never to depend on such contraptions. A proper army needs to be driven by glory, if not fear. Their automatons feel nothing. How well can they possibly fight? Who else besides Prometheus does Kronos have under his thumb? I would know every last Titan or such ilk who deigned to turn on us. Strife could never be controlled. Nyx knew only too well. As for that Cyclops, he and your uncle Poseidon have some history that may have spurred his impulses. Well, it is not yet the longest list of enemies, at least. That skull you have in hand, is that... How did you come to possess it? It once had been entrusted to your mother's care, for her protection, and in a way yours, forged by the fates, who so like playing us for fools. That skull did not protect the queen as much as I would have preferred, but perhaps its work merely is not yet complete. Good riddance, Marble, in his own likeness. Oh, he has more. Just go. Long had that one waited here. The shades heed you at least. Returned. Back again. Back already. Who? Such a predictable and reckless action on the Titan's part. Although your Uncle Zeus may not be quite as spry as when he and that monster previously clashed. Nor should you fight something like him, daughter. Let Zeus clean up his mess. His thunderbolt proved quite effective in the past, although you'd think that an embodiment of storms and rage would be immune. Then you're in the wrong place. For if you think thwarting the Titan shall stop Typhon in turn, you're wrong. A monster such as that cannot be controlled. Go, see for yourself. What news of Typhon recently, daughter? Zeus used to boast of how he vanquished that monstrosity alone. Now I imagine more of a concerted effort is required. We buried him under a mountain once. No ordinary show of strength, for other methods failed. Well, I trust my brother has some sort of plan. He never lacked for those. When first we had to fend off Typhon long ago, we dared not think the Titan Lord whom we had already disposed of was responsible. Surely not even he in all his arrogance believed that such a monster would bend to his will. With Nyx herself amongst the Titan Lord's captives, all that transpires deep within the earth cannot be known by anyone. And now, even though both Typhon and the Titan fell to us before, we have never had to face them both at once. I have not seen you in some time. Perhaps you've been preoccupied with thwarting Typhon as he makes attempts to break into my brother's nigh-impenetrable mountain palace. An age-old tactic that served well your predecessors in the greatest battles of their youth. I had a feeling that would be the case. In the end, little changes with time. Cerberus has been quite agitated, and I'm realizing why. It's not just having to roam through the morning fields. You probably can sense Typhon's return. I doubt that too. It seems not one of us is able to escape our father's influence. Yet here we all are, still. I used to have a sense for all the blessings of our kin. Their boons were not permitted in this realm. That sense has dulled. For only now do I detect the influence of Ares here. Is that what he told you? The only reason I can think of that my nephew would endeavor to conclude a war is if it meant still greater wars could then be waged instead. Nevertheless, if he is claiming to be on your side, he would not lie outright. The only reason I can think of that my nephew would endeavor to conclude a war is if it meant still greater wars could then be waged instead. Nevertheless, if he is claiming to be on your side, he would not lie outright. Heal, Cerberus. It may be best to keep your distance there, or rather for that dog. Although, the Witch of the Crossroads, she once had a hound much like that one. A creature possessed of loyalty and courage then. A quite uncommon combination, whether in beasts or otherwise. Be on your best behavior with her, Cerberus. Goodbye, daughter. Your mother and I had looked forward to seeing you again ever since you departed. How have you fared? Are matters in the crossroads well in hand? The house is partially in order, but the rest of Tartarus yet bears the mark of my father's extravagant tastes. Whatever harm he caused our family, undoing his decor shall take longer still, while I shall do my small part then, in the retracing of your steps, provided I may be of service still. Nectar from the highest peaks. To think we once forbade this substance here, though that was well before your time. Thank you, daughter. And we have something here for you in turn. A small token, but a symbol of our family as well. If you would permit it, daughter, I would offer up such nectar to the shades assisting in the underworld renovations underway, as an added token of appreciation for their toil. Is that acceptable to you? These customs that we share from those above, I ask that you not follow our traditions blindly. Such traditions may be partially responsible for the many mistakes that led us to this point. Perhaps so. You ought to have many others who would welcome such a gift. To have been raised in the seclusion of those crossroads, I fear it must have been a very solitary life. More so than one would like. Your words are not as persuasive to me as either one of us would like. If you had grown up in my house, you would have been showered with attention, not forced to harden your hands with toil, especially for one so young. The occasion for such pleasantries. Perhaps after our underworld renovations are complete, and we have taken proper stock of our resources and the shades, then finally we may accept a moment of reprieve. Thus speaks the Queen. Thank you for this, daughter, but you truly need not spare such thoughts on us. We have each other once again. I myself have want for nothing more. Ambrosia from the heavens themselves. I scarce remember its savor, but I never shall forget what it was like living apart. Nor should any of us long for time to take the pain of it away. Let us remember always how we reached this point together. Daughter, our daughter, Melinoe, you're here. It's her. It's you. Welcome. There she is. Is that you? Heal, Severus. Be well. Till next we meet. Goodbye, daughter. Our blessings. Take care of yourself. Take care, then. Thank you. Of course. Very well. You have it. Granted. Shadows conceal you. Greetings. Hail, daughter. Darkness suits me best. Go unseen. Shadows conceal you. I have no mood for this. How like your brother. Cease this. Daughter? It is yours. There. Very well. Of course. Then go. Go, daughter. How could you possibly? Perhaps the fates themselves permitted you that bit of insight. My father sought them, but I revealed nothing. Couldn't have even if I so desired. For no one knows where those three are save them. What? No. But if this is true, then my father's plan for conquest is much closer to fruition than I thought. If not even they could stop him. Daughter, what chance do you have? Your methods. Let Zeus clean up his mess. His thunderbolt proved quite effective in the past, although you'd think that an embodiment of storms and rage would be immune. What? Why am I only learning of this now? We'll shake the information out of him then and locate them immediately. Has that boulder yet revealed anything to you? I know not why I ask, mere baseless superstition on my part, but I have seen you go to it from time to time. Most of the wretches who we once held captive here had no hope of forgiveness or freedom at all, yet even they broke loose, if undeservedly. Then let the boulder stand as testament to all that has transpired and shall come to pass. Appearances can be deceiving, as you must already know, daughter. The initial work is rather quick. Addressing the details takes much, much longer. And why should we settle for less? Anything that we did not want changed ought to remain as we desired it. Just make your choice and go, daughter. Gold everywhere. The light refracting from it constantly assaults my eyes. This reconstruction shall be interminable. We're nowhere close to finishing the house itself. If not for my sake, then for yours. These grounds ought to be as you always liked. But we shall tolerate my father's taste a while longer if we must. Apologies, Melinoe. Here. We're not the ones having to violate the principles of reality as we understand it, daughter. It seems my father must permit his zealous followers to run free a while longer to prevent any further misunderstandings between us. I know that you are not so fortunate. The least your mother and I can do is prepare you for the final confrontation that awaits. We heard of the return of the three fates. How much you had to do with it shall be for you to know. But tell us, were they in good spirits at the least? Then we are fortunate, perhaps, for they can be a temperamental bunch. Their moods may not solely dictate the nature of their weavings, but certainly must correlate. Oh, absolutely not. Although I welcome each of you to draw whichever conclusions you see fit. We shall adapt, as we have always done. But unless this new age causes mortals to be relieved of their defining trait, that they all perish soon enough, then I should think what we do here shall always serve a vital purpose. We heard that you were on your way, daughter, so your mother ensured we each would be here in time to greet you. They all are back to work, and well we ought, now that we're done exchanging pleasantries. Do rid us of my father's lingering threat, while we rid this place of his horrid styling. The court has remained closed. Nevertheless, there are growing numbers of shades awaiting their turns, and we require Hypnos to keep them orderly and informed. Oh, we need not bore our daughter with administrative drudgery. The point was merely that this missing son of Nyx has now been located. One fewer matter to resolve. Surely my own blessing shall suffice. Our daughter has already faced and vanquished this titan many times. There is no need to alter what has already been working well, daughter. Your mother brought life to this realm where it never should have been able to take hold, and we are richer for it. Your mother sends you her warmest regards and regrets that she was unable to join me here this time. Certain matters at the house require her attention, if not mine. Drawing lots is how I wound up in this realm, and is not something I have done again. This is simpler, besides. Being here is how I can best ensure your continued success. As Kronos, my father, has he been amenable to your requirements in all of this? No sudden or discernible changes of behavior or demeanor? We ought to remain on guard, nevertheless. Although my father never could hide his contempt. If you have rid him of that, then he truly is no longer the Titan I once knew. Oh, it is somewhat less stressful than being imprisoned, fearing the worst for my family and dog, and watching the underworld become unrecognizable. Oh, let us not tempt the fates with such talk, wherever they may be. You and your brother are more than sufficient. My father is, surprisingly, quite competent in his newfound regard, at least thus far. The work itself is not too burdensome, although the residents of the Isles of the Blessed can be very demanding. Essentially, that is correct. He is attentive to detail and not prone to forgetfulness. We shall be monitoring him to ensure he remains that way. Did your mother and I hear correctly that you and your brother clashed? In the midst of Elysium for all to see? A shrewd decision on the boy's part, then, or more likely it was yours. For all the troubles in the underworld, this type of exhibition match, as you refer to it, may be exactly what the Shades require. You trained with the Witch of the Crossroads. He trained with the greatest warrior that ever fought in mortal wars. Who is superior shall perhaps be subject to debate. These blessings are mere trifles, but if they have been effective, so be it. Matters in the house are well in hand. We trust that all is likewise well with you. Zagreus sends his regards. The underworld has kept him busy recently. What my father did to Tartarus is a disgrace we shall correct in time. Your work has drawn you to the surface more and more, so it is good to see you here. If there is something more that we can do to facilitate your efforts, merely ask. We trust that the Witch of the Crossroads and the rest are lately doing well. My father may be different now, but if any old trace of him remains, destroy it. Let us ensure that nothing like what we have withstood shall ever again transpire. I shall always have wrath to spare for any remnants of my father's former self. Correct technique. He tolerates it. He does. An important rule. Heed her, Cerberus. He is aware. He got his exercise. Such attention for this dog. He is amenable. Nothing here. What of the throne? Fates be merciful. I merely said we ought to leave this chamber's updating for last, for I would not erase the memory of how it is, though perhaps it shall remain this way for ages at the current rate. The protection of the underworld is a responsibility we all share, but in retrospect, Nyx in her wisdom took certain additional precautions, yes. Curse you, monster! Blast you, monster! Wretched monster! You are nothing, Typhon! Then be so kind as to get these chains off me so we can get to work. Most fear to tread within this chamber, but quite recently the visage of Nyx herself charged in, saluted in a huff and strode on past. One of Nyx's daughters? That almost makes me feel some pity for those traces, then. To have to face retribution or vengeance, if not both. No, Nyx is with the Queen. Nor shall I leave my daughter unattended. I do not act. That or your old senses have dulled. She went running over there by the head chef, where she yet lingers in silence. Go before her patience wears thin. We did this to each other. Gods and titans, doomed to live forever, yet learn nothing all the while. Do as you must, but take no vengeance in my name. My father, he visited me recently, demanding that I tell him where to find you. I made clear I did not know, but you are drawing more of his attention. Do not misunderstand. We merely spoke. Granted, that is a rarity in itself. He never knew what to do with my brothers or me. Never should have had us at all. We often fought. He believed we would take after him. None of us did. And when the fates decided that the time had come for us to rule in his stead, he resisted, bitterly. But these old memories, I would leave them buried forever. Even when my brothers, foster sisters, and I vanquished him, we knew he would eventually be back. A deathless titan. But we thought it would be on our terms. We were such fools. It was for the best that we lacked such means. We would have used them and continued using them. I merely judged the dead, or used to. I was never fit to judge the living. To think that you might stop the Titan forever. In my youth, I could not believe we were related. Yet now I realize. I have grown old and wretched and wrathful, like him. My family. Where are we? Is this my house? Father, what is the meaning of all this? Daughter, please. I too remember now. That father was with us, after Zagreus discovered him and took him in. Yet all the while, I have been a prisoner. His prisoner here in this time of ours. In our moment of peril, you were the only one we could count on, esteemed Witch of the Crossroads. For that and more, you have our gratitude. For all eternity. Granted, but only this one chance. By the grace of the Princess of the Underworld. When I was having difficulties with my son, sometimes I thought of you, Father. I cannot fathom having had more children to contend with all at once. I can make no assurances about how you shall be received. These dreamlike memories we share did not reach Mount Olympus, it seems. But Zeus does have my full report. I would not be, if not for you, daughter. I trust that we shall see each other again soon. And perhaps even you, Father. We've you to thank for the return of Hypnos. He would not cease apologizing for his dereliction of duty. He now is taking stock of the number of days he missed work. How is it you already have my blessing, daughter? Is that? You have our family's heirloom, the jeweled palm. Where did you get it? Most likely the Witch of the Crossroads procured it, but who can say? My father's influence is strong. Time wears on memory, perhaps. But here, I can add to its power. Daughter, we had meant to ask you at some point about your arm, because, well, it is but a curiosity, and one we need not indulge if the subject is best avoided. Yet your connection to the dead we sense is very strong. Well, we each have our scars from lessons learned. Most are not as noticeable or intriguing. Your mother and I figured it was more of a personal choice.